Hello, welcome to class 188. Michael Johnson. Let's finish Michael Johnson and then go on. Someday, algún año de estos, o algún siglo de estos, one of these centuries, we will finish Unit 18, all right? One of these days. Español say uno de estos días o un día de estos. We say uno de estos días in English. One of these days, we will finish Unit 18. Let's see. We have Michael. We have Paula Eisenbach. And that's it. Then we have finished. We have Paula. Michael, that's 2. We also spoke about Inés Garcia, that's 3. Lee Tong is 4, do you remember? Luigi Barghini, Anna Barghini, and Carl Polster, that's 5, do you remember? Denise Johnson is 6. Pierre Monet and the Prime Minister is 7. Akimorita and his boss in Louisiana is 8. Natasha Zarakovich and her birthday, yes, number 9. Nigel Perkins and his wife in Monte Carlo is 10. Parece hace un siglo, ¿verdad que sí? Nancy Johnson and her travels were 11. And Philip Johnson making breakfast, fried eggs, and bacon for his children is number 12. 12 episodios. Estamos en el episodio, terminando episodio número, number 11. I've lost my place. Here we are. Michael Johnson. All right. Let's finish Michael. Last Saturday, Michael was the star of the team. He was playing in the regional finals. And his team, his school, defeated the other school by a large, escrito large, margin, a big margin. Large, big, es lo mismo, by a large margin. They were playing in the regional finals, and his team won easily, in spite of the fact that the other team was the favorite to win. The other team was expected to win, but the opposite happened completely. It was total destruction, total annihilation, aniquilación, total annihilation. Michael's team beat the other team. Beat, escrito beat. Antes dije defeated, derrotó. Porque to win es ganar, pero no ganar a. Por ejemplo, te gané. Te gané. No puedes usar el verbo to win. Win es lo que se llama verbo intransitivo, intransitive. No puede llevar un complemento indirecto. Directo sí. ¿Qué es lo que ganaste? Gané el partido. What did you win? I won the match. I won the game. Yeah? But I can't say I won you. I won the game. Between you and me, a chess match. Una partida de ajedrez. I won and you lost. I won the game, you lost the game. Porque game es complemento directo. ¿A quién gané? A ti. Complemento indirecto. Pero no puedo decir I won you. I won you. Hay que usar otro verbo que ahí suele haber dos. I beat you, escrito beat, como batir, te batí. I beat you, or I defeated you. Derroté, derrotar. Te derroté. I defeated you. Se dice más beat, porque es one syllable. I beat you. Hey, I beat you. Finally, I beat you in chess for the first time in 20 years. Wow. And Michael's team beat their opponents, sus oponentes, contrincantes. They beat their opponents by a large margin. What was the score? Well, the final score was 67-42. Wow. And you say the other team was the favorite. Yeah, the other team was the favorite. But everybody was surprised. And why was the game so different than expected? Well, maybe because of Michael. Maybe Michael's performance in the game made the difference. He scored 41 points. He scored 16 points in the first half, and he scored 25 points in the second half. And of those 25 points, he made 7 baskets in the first 3 minutes of the second half. Total destruction of the opponent. Yeah. And of the 41 points that he scored during the game, only 2 were free throws. So the rest of his points were playing, clean playing of basketball. Was there an article in the paper the next day? Yes, there was. Of course, Lincoln, Nebraska, the population is 150,000, I think. And so it's not a big city. It's a small city, but it's the capital. So it's an important city. Also, it's the home, la sede. It's the home of the University of Nebraska. So it's an important educational center as well. Academic center and political center, legal center, bureaucratic center. All right. But it's a small city, but in the United States, every city has 1 or 2 newspapers that are very popular. For example, in Spain, people read normally the national newspapers. But for example, in Cantabria, almost everybody reads El Diario Montañés. They read that more than the national newspapers. It's a very successful newspaper. And in the United States, it's the same. The Lincoln Herald, the Lincoln Tribune, the San Francisco Tribune, the Los Angeles Times, the Tulsa World, etc. These are popular, and so they have local news, noticias locales, of course, which includes local sports. And Michael was in the newspaper. He broke into print. He was and there was a photograph. There was a photograph, a picture. There was a picture of Michael the next day in the newspaper, and a long article about the game. Well, of course, it's the regional finals. Yes. And what happened after that? What happened? Well, he started, who? Michael. He started receiving telephone calls. Did he make any telephone calls? No, he didn't make any telephone calls. He received a lot of he got a lot of telephone calls from friends. Only from friends? No, he received one call from a man, well, from a very special person. What person was that? The man who is the coach for the basketball teams in the high school where Michael will go next year. Next year, this year, Michael will finish middle school. And after the summer, in September, he'll start in high school, 9th grade, noveno. And so for 4 years, he will be 15. That's a little bit young. There are 2 teams in the high school. The varsity team and the junior varsity team. What does that mean? Well, that means the young team and the main team. Michael, we'll see. Ya veremos. All right. This English course isn't over yet. There's a lot of information. But I'm giving you a little bit of information about the future. So he spoke to Michael on the phone spoke to his future coach. And the coach told him that he went to the game the night before, that he watched Michael play. He said he congratulated Michael on a game well played. He said, well, young man, I want to congratulate you. You played very well. I was quite impressed. And I look forward to having you next year with the team in high school. He said, but I'm going to attend the next game as well. And the next game, of course, as you know, Michael, is with the Omaha Buffaloes. They're considered the best team in Nebraska. He doesn't mention here the coach, doesn't mention Ricky Tanner, the star of the Omaha Buffaloes. But he does say, ahora acabo de usar un verbo auxiliar en una frase inafirmativa, inafirmativo. He does say, en vez de decir he says, dice, hecho he does say. Eso es para enfatizar. No menciona el jugador Ricky Tanner, que veremos más adelante. Pero sí dice, es enfático, but he does say that the Omaha Buffaloes are the best team in Nebraska. So he's telling Michael Johnson, Michael, you have a challenge, un reto por delante. The coach told Michael that the Buffaloes were the best, el mejor, the best basketball team in Nebraska at the middle school level. Level, nivel, sea level. Madrid is 700 meters above sea level. The Dead Sea is 700 meters below sea level. Yes, el Mar Muerto. You know that. The Dead Sea is 700 meters below sea level. The Dead Sea. That's where they say Sodom and Gomorrah was. That's why. It's a Dead Sea. Yes, the conflagration and destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah lowered the level of the earth and created the Dead Sea, which is a Dead Sea. There's no fish or anything. It's salt. All right. So level. But here it's the middle school level. By the way, was Michael worried after talking to the coach and he said the Omaha Buffaloes were the best team? Was Michael worried? No. Michael wasn't worried. He knew. What did he know? Well, he knew that the Buffaloes, the Omaha Buffaloes, weren't a good defensive team. He knew that. The Buffaloes are very good on offense, but not on defense. And so he knew this. So Michael knew, sabía o conocía algún punto flaco o débil de su futuro oponente. He knew their weak point. And my weak point, no. Your weak point, weak is débil. Escrito weak. Se pronuncia como la palabra semana. Weak. Weak point is punto flaco, punto débil. My weak point, your weak point, Michael's weak point, the Omaha Buffalo's weak point. So Michael knew su de ellos, ese equipo. He knew their weak point. And their weak point was, or is, defense. What's your weak point? In English. Phrasal verbs, auxiliary verbs, modal verbs, irregular verbs, regular verbs, adjectives, prepositions. What's your weak point? Michael was sure that with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, a bit of luck, tres formas de decirlo, con un poco de suerte, with a bit of luck, with a little luck, o todo, with a little bit of luck. Se dice casi más el tercero, aunque sea más largo. With a little bit of luck. It's from My Fair Lady. My Fair Lady with a little bit of luck. How do you say the Cockneys in London say, with a little bit of luck. With a little bit of luck. All right. So he was sure, our good friend Michael, he was sure that with a little luck, or a little bit of luck, his team was going to win. Estaba seguro que su equipo iba a ganar. Fíjate, iba a ganar. Was going to win. Se decía a sí mismo, mi equipo va a ganar. My team is going to win. Estaba seguro, he was, ya empiezo en el pasado, he was sure that his team was going. O sea, mantengo el concepto del pasado en toda la frase. Ahora él se pensaba, vamos a ganar. o el equipo va a ganar. The team is going to win. Futuro con going to. Pero cuando es reported speech, el habla indirecta, entonces pensaba, o estaba seguro, dice, que iban a ganar. En español es lo mismo, es igual que en inglés. He was sure his team was going to win. Yeah, he was sure his team was going to win. All right, yes. Well, I prefer a positive attitude than a negative attitude. Oh, the Omaha Buffaloes, they're so good. We can never beat them. Nunca podemos ganarles a ellos. We can never beat. Fíjate, beat, no win. We can never win the game. We can never beat them. Come on, Michael. Be more confident. No problem. Michael is very confident. Said, vamos a ganar, eh? We're going to beat them. We're going to destroy the Omaha Buffaloes. Maybe. The Omaha Buffaloes are very good, eh? And Ricky Tanner is un fenómeno. Ricky Tanner is the best basketball player in Nebraska at the middle school level. And the Buffaloes are the best team in Nebraska at the middle school level. Perdona. All right. Did his father have a different opinion? No. Philip. Yeah? Philip and Michael. No. His father agreed with him. Yeah. And the mother, did she agree? The mother told Michael to pay more attention to school and less attention to basketball. What do you think? I mean, do you think, is the mother right? I mean, in your opinion, is Michael too involved in basketball? He's a good kid. He's a good kid. Es un buen chaval. He's a good kid. His teachers adore him, but they don't give him good grades or good marks. B's and C's, all right? Which means he's a normal student, an average student. But the teachers know that he's very intelligent. But the problem is he's always thinking about sports. He's not even thinking about girls. He's only thinking about sports. Yeah. Yeah. And the trumpet. He plays the trumpet. But he's not a member of the school band because he plays sports too much. So he needs to improve academically. And his mother is a bit exasperated. His mother is a bit irritated because Michael and his father are only talking about basketball. Michael's father is forgetting the academic part. But the mother says, but you need to study more. All right. That's Michael Johnson. We'll see, veremos. We'll see. Ya veremos lo que pasa en el futuro con nuestro amigo Michael. All right. But for the moment, let's turn the page. I'm turning the page. I'm turning it slowly. I'm not turning it quickly or fast. Now, we're on the page. Now we're on page 200. Hey, celebration. Yeah, con mate suegra. Okay, irregular verbs, Dios mío. Todavía esto. All right. Irregular verbs. When did you take him to the airport? Who? Your son. I took him to the airport 7 months ago. Well, 6 months ago, yeah. He came, my son lives in Los Angeles, California. He came to Spain in February or March, I can't remember. He came to Spain in the late winter, a últimos del verano. And I went to the airport to pick him up. I picked him up. I picked him up. I picked him up. Timoteo. No, Tim. I picked him up. ¿Cómo lo has dicho? I picked him up. Picked him. I picked la sonido de T. No hay T aquí en absoluto. Sin embargo, el sonido de T manda. I picked him up at the airport. And then 2 weeks later, I took him back to the airport to see him off, to say goodbye. Yes, I took him to the airport. How did you take him? I took him in my car. I took him in my car. I didn't take him in my private jet, and I didn't take him in my private helicopter. I took him in my car. And did he sit in the back seat? No, he sat next to me in the passenger seat. He sat. What did he tell you when he arrived? My son. Yeah, when he arrived in Madrid from Los Angeles, what did he tell you? He didn't tell me anything. He said, "Hi, Dad." Well, he told me he was tired. He told me the flight was long. He told me the flight left Los Angeles late. He told me there was a lot of turbulence along the way. He told me there was a fat man sitting on his left. He told me there was a woman on his right that was very talkative. He was in the middle, the poor guy. Can you imagine? Los Angeles to Madrid, I mean, that's 12 hours. Sitting between a fat man and a talkative lady. And so he was uncomfortable. So he told me he didn't have a good flight. So I took him home. I took him to our house, and he slept for 24 hours. For 24 hours, almost. He slept, well, probably 12 hours. He slept for a long time. All right, so that's what he told me. Eso es lo que me dijo. That's what. That is. Mira cómo hacemos la contracción. That's what he told me. Eso es lo que él me dijo. That is. That's what he told me. That's why he slept for 12 hours. Es por eso que durmió durante 12 horas. That's why. He was tired and sleepy. That's why he slept for 12 straight hours. 12 horas rectas? Straight? Yeah, straight. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Straight means recto. But you say 12 horas rectas. Yeah, 12 straight hours. What does straight mean in this case? Consecutive. In a row. 12 horas seguidas. 12 straight hours. 12 rectas horas is 12 straight hours, is 12 horas seguidas. 12 hours in a row. También se dice mucho, ¿eh? 12 horas en una fila. 12 hours in a row. 12 consecutive hours, but we usually don't say that. And I don't recommend it because you can't pronounce consecutive. You say consecutive, not consecutive. Consecutive. So, when did she buy the tickets? She bought the tickets last summer. Last summer, yeah. If you buy tickets for Broadway productions in New York City 1 year in advance, they're cheaper. So, but who's she? Nancy Johnson. Really? Well, you see, the Johnson family is planning to visit New York City next March. March of next year. I mean, now we're in September, March of next year. And so she bought the tickets last summer. Really? Yes, because if you buy the tickets in advance, they're cheaper. They're less expensive. And if they cancel the trip to New York, well, if they cancel the trip, they lose the money. Okay, well, that's a bit dangerous, don't you think? Well, Nancy Johnson is a very well-organized woman. And if the plan is to go to New York City in March of next year, they will go to New York City. All right, because if Nancy is the boss in this case. So, when did she buy the tickets? She bought them She bought the tickets last summer. Aquí dice yesterday, but this sentence is wrong. Okay. How much money did he lend them? Well, he didn't lend them any money. And why didn't he lend them any money? Because they didn't ask him for money. But I lent you some money last week. Yeah, don't you remember? ¿No te acuerdas? Te presté 500 euros, eh? I lent you 500 euros last week. Don't you remember? Don't you remember? Excuse me, you don't remember. Well, I remember. I have your signature and I have your fingerprints. Huh? I have your fingerprints. Yeah? So, I lent you $500. When are you going to pay me back? Are you going to pay me back between now and the next class? I'll remind you in the next class. Take care.